So I've been thinking about making Tom shave his beard. It sounds crazy, right? Well, it's because it's not one of his actions. And for those who don't know me, A, I'm very passionate about CreateStudio 3. B, I always try to push it to its limits. Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Ali, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to work out the magic part using the masking feature to make Tom shave his beard. And before we dive deeper into this, I've got an example that I wanna share with you. The example has two versions. Version 1, where I used Tom as a video character in his idle action to keep him standing the whole time. And the other version was a simple snapshot of him. So I'll let you decide for yourself which version works out better for you, and then we can come back to start creating. I hope you loved the example. Now it's time for us to have fun and start creating. And I'm pretty sure you have noticed the difference between both versions and you can tell which one works out better. For me, or at least in my opinion, version 2 works out better because it was more convenient to work with a snapshot, but feel free to do it whatever way you prefer because both ways are exactly the same when following the same steps in this tutorial, because I'm going to show you how to do this using a snapshot of Tom. And I want to tell you that the background available in this tutorial, you can download it by clicking on the link in the description below to be able to follow along with me step by step if you want to have the same background. But if you don't, well, it's up to you. You can use whatever background you like, but you got to make sure that your character is also going to be masked inside a mirror, because obviously he's doing this in a bathroom, so that you can make him look perfectly fine. And now let's start diving into it and show you how I did it. This whole thing should take about 20 to 25 seconds. So I'm going to start from 40 seconds. I'm not going to delete this. I'm going to move my playhead at 40 seconds. Then I'm going to go to my media folder and show you exactly the assets that we're going to use. First, we're going to use snapshots of Tom. So I'm going to drag Tom and drop him onto the canvas. One is going to be without a beard, and then the other one will be with a beard. So all you have to do is design your character using whatever outfit you like. And then when you're done, you have to have one without a beard and the other one is exactly the same, but the only difference is that the other one should have a beard. Once you have that ready, you're going to find a razor. That should be an electric one. You can simply use Victizi for that one, and you can do it by clicking on the Victizi icon. When you go to your media files, click on the Victizi icon, and then in the search bar, type in the razor. Make sure you click on the PNG to get all the transparent backgrounds, and then type in razor, and then you should be able to find a bunch of razors, and then you can download whatever image you want. You can still get the same one I have in my project, which is this one right here. Now that I have both ready, I'm going to extend these guys all the way until 1 minute right here. So like I said, this whole thing is going to be for 20 to 25 seconds. We'll extend it even more in case we need more time, depending on how many keyframes we're going to create in this one. So I want you to follow along with me step by step, even if you have to pause the video until you're exactly where I'm at, and then continue to watch it. Please do that, because this one, I'm not going to say it's a little bit tricky, but it's going to take time because we're going to use a lot of masks and keyframes for this one. So once you are ready and you're about to get started, this is what you're going to do. You're going to start with creating your own masks using the pen tool. So we're going to go to the plus sign that shows in the top left to activate the pen tool right there. And then we're going to start by creating our masks around his beard, right? So now I have to make sure that my mask is just about the same size of the beard. Now this is going to be multiple masks that we're going to use for this one because we want him to look like he is naturally shaving his beard, and then it would just look perfect. So this is how you can do it. And if you are unfamiliar with how to work with custom masks or using the pen tool, I do have other tutorials in the same playlist. You can go ahead and watch it to get a better idea of how you can work with the pen tool to be able to create your custom masks. Now, once you have created your first mask, what you want to do is go into the right panel above the timeline and then click on Connect Shape. And then don't forget to remove the border width. So make it 0 like this. And then we're going to right click and rename and let's call this 1. Next, we're going to go back to the plus sign again. We're going to activate the pen tool one more time to create another custom mask. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. And so I'm going to go and cover all his beard with multiple masks, like I said. And we're going to have a mask for his mustache. I'll divide that into 2. I'm going to click on Connect Shape so I can connect my shape and then remove the border. Now notice that once I connected my shape, and this is what that mask looks like. It's okay, that's fine. You can always drag your mask and get it, make sure it is lined up with your other mask, so there's no difference between the first one and the second one, just so you don't end up with any gaps in between while he's shaving his beard. And then when you're done, you're going to rename this one and call it number 2. Again, we're going to go back to the plus sign and then activate the pen tool to draw another mask right here, and then just continue to go on with this one. So not to bore you with the details of creating this mask, I'm going to fast forward the process and I'll come back to you when I have created all masks. All right, there you have it. Now we have a total of 7 masks inside our timeline. So you can see we have all of those masks that are ready to be masked. And so what we're going to need to do is we'll keep those as is. And then we will duplicate the one with the beard, which is the one on top. So I'm going to make a duplicate 1 by hitting the control and the letter D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. On my original version, it actually took me about 10 to 12 masks, but I try to keep this a little bit shorter so I can use less masks. So now I have 7 layers with Tom in his beard. Now I'm going to start renaming these guys. I should have done that. So let's rename and call this number 1 so we don't get confused. The second one is going to be number 2. They should all have the same exact numbers, just like your masks, so that you don't get lost while you're masking layers. So you're going to keep renaming this number 3, and then the next one is going to be number 4, next one is going to be number 5, next one is going to be number 6, next one is going to be number 7. And now all we got to do is select 1 along with path number 1, right click and mask these guys, and then we can click on 2 along with path number 2, right click and mask, 3 along with 3, right click and mask, 4 along with 4, right click and mask, 5 along with 5, right click and mask, 6 along with 6 and right click and mask, 7 along with 7, right click and mask. You can hit the control or the command on your keyboard while you're selecting multiple layers. That way you can select multiple layers to be able to mask or apply your masks. So it looks like there's one that had a border that I forgot to take out. So let's just go back to that specific one and then go to the border settings and then make sure it is gone and we are good to go. We might want to just double click it to be able to edit the mask a little bit and fine tune it. Make sure that it's a fit on his beard like that. And then we might want to add another line right this. So this is the cool thing about the pen tool. So even though you have drew your path, you can still go back into the editing mode and adjust your path lines exactly how you want. The way how you do this is by double clicking on the mask, and you'll start seeing all the dots and path lines that you've created, and you can go back to each dot of those path lines and be able to adjust their placement to make sure that they are a fit. Once you're done, you just click on exit mask, and then now you are good to go. So this is what we have. We have all masks ready to start creating our animation. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to go back into our media file, and then I'm going to show you another snapshot that I took of Tom, and I simply just had him spin around the other way to see his back in one of his actions, so that I can see his arm like this, and then I can create a mask around the arm, so make it look like it's holding the razor. And so you can easily do this by choosing any of the actions available, and then move your playhead forward and backward in time to be able to see, you know, the best shot of the arm and his hand palms, you know, while he's about to hold the razor. And then when you're happy, you just take a snapshot and then follow along with me to be able to take a custom mask around his arm. So I'm going to go back to the plus sign and simply click on the pen tool to be able to create my mask around the arm like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just need a shape that's going to go around the arm, only that part that we need. And then when we're done, we click on connect shape to be able to connect our shape. And then we can remove the borders like this. And then we can simply just select both layers, right click, and then we can mask. Now we only see that we have got the right hand side ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a duplicate of that guy, and then I'm going to drag it a little bit to the left side right here. And then I want to flip it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my settings and find where it says properties. I'll click that, and then the last option says flip. I'm going to flip it horizontally. Now I have his two arms ready to start holding the razor. So that's going to be our next step. We're going to go into our media folder and grab our razor right here, and then we're going to resize it and then place it wherever we want underneath the his hand to be able to make it look like it's holding it. So we're going to have one that's going to be over here, and then we need to make sure that this razor basically goes underneath it, and then we can play with the size to make sure it's in a good fit. So we're going to go back and select it and then resize it, make it a little bit smaller like this, and then we could just position it however we want. When we're happy with that, we can simply make a duplicate of the razor and then drag it underneath the second arm, which is the one on the left one right here. And then we just gotta grab it. So we're gonna grab this guy by holding the shift key, and we can simply just drag it that way like this, and it should just go right here. And then we need to flip this guy. So we're gonna go to settings, find where it says properties, click that, and then flip it horizontally, and then it should look okay. Now it's time to group things around. So we're gonna group the first one, but first of all, you gotta make sure that everything is lined up. So we're gonna select all layers or four images of the hands and the razor images, and extend these guys all the way until the end, so they're perfectly lined up with every layer and the timeline. And then we can simply just group each two. So we're going to group these guys together, and then I'm going to group the other two right here. And I need to make sure that I have everything renamed so I know exactly what I'm working with. Once I have this grouped up, I'm going to right click and then rename and call this left hand or left arm like this. And then the other one is going to be right hand. There you go. And then now once we're ready, this is the time where we start creating our animation using keyframes. So I'm going to select both arms. I just need, oops. Okay, I just need both arms. I'm going to select them in the timeline right here. And then I'm going to grab them right there. I'm going to position them underneath his chest by just a few pixels like this. So it should look like something like that. And then we can start creating our animation. So we're going to start by the left hand, right? Make our movements, and then we can start animating each mask layer that we created. So now that we have this, we can start, a few seconds after, for example, and then we can make sure that we have the left hand selected, and we're going to use position animation. So you can either go and click on add animation above the timeline to add position. Easing is always going to be as is. Do not change it. Now you have your two keyframes. You're going to select your second keyframe, and then you're going to drag this one on the left side of his beard like this. So it's going to be something like that. Again, you might want to adjust its size. It's totally up to you, but just for the sake of the tutorial, I don't want to take much time in creating this or trying to make it perfectly as I could, but you can always perfect this however you like while you're following along. So take your time on that. When you're done with your second keyframe and dragging the hand along with the razor on his face, you want to create another animation. So you're going to go to add animation, choose position again, and now you're going to select your second keyframe and simply make this one go away like this. And then now it's time to go back to the first keyframe of our second animation where the hand was on his face. And at this point, we got to make sure that it's pretty much on the center of that first keyframe on the second animation or second position animation. Then we're going to click on image number 1, and then we're going to use position. So like I said, you can either click on add animation above the timeline, or you can use a shortcut, which is the letter P for Papa on the keyboard to create a position animation, easing it as is. Now I'm going to select my second keyframe, and I'll simply just drag this one and make it go underneath the razor image right there. And then I'm going to go back to where my left hand is, and then I'm going to click on the letter P to add another position animation. I'll select my second keyframe, and this time I'm going to go make it go up a little right here. And then I can go and create another position animation. So pressing the letter P again to create another position animation, click the second keyframe, and then take the hand away like that. And then now we can go back to the first keyframe of our third animation, and then we're going to select layer or mask number 2, and then we're going to create a position animation. So we're going to click on the letter P on a keyboard, click the second keyframe, and then we drag this guy and make it go underneath the razor image like that. Now we're going to go back again to the left hand. So we're going to create another position animation. So letter P, click the second keyframe, drag your razor onto this part of his face on his chain like this. And then we're going to create another position animation to make it go away. So we're going to select second keyframe, make it go away again like this. And then we're going to go back to the first keyframe of that new position animation. We're going to go with the layer or mask number 3, create a position animation by hitting the letter P, select the second keyframe, and then we can drag, so making sure that we're selecting the right one. All right, let's see. It looks like I messed up something in here. So I'm going to go to borders. All right, we're going to go to borders. Okay, there you go. I'm not sure why did that happen, but yeah. So we're going to go back to the first keyframe of the latest animation that we created, and then we're going to go to layer or mask number 3, and we're going to add a position animation. Simply click the second keyframe, and you can use your keyboard if if something wrong goes with clicking or selecting mask layers. So you're going to make sure you have your second keyframe selected, and then you're going to hold the shift key along with the bottom arrow key to drag this a little bit to the bottom. And then you can safely just drag it with your mouse, make it go underneath a razor image. And so I'm going to start using the right hand at this point. So now where my playhead is at, so let's say a few seconds after, we can simply just select the left hand, or I'm sorry, the right hand, and then we're going to click on position animation to add a position. We're going to select the second keyframe and make this one go up like this right here. Another position animation right there to make it go away again like that. And then we're going to go back to the first keyframe of our latest animation, and then it's mask number 4 that we want to create. So we want to make sure that our keyframes are exactly lined up with our keyframes exactly on the hand images along with the razor images. And now we're going to select our second keyframe and then make this go away underneath the razor right here. Then we're going to go back to the right hand, and then we are going to create another position animation. So you can see lots of keyframes are required, but that's totally okay as long as you're doing something for fun and you're really enjoying this part. And it's just amazing, right? You're creating this illusion to make Tom look like he's actually shaving his beard, although it's not one of his actions. It's just fascinating. So now that we got discovered, now we're going to select our second keyframe, and then we're going to go back to the last part of his beard right here, like this. And then we're going to click on letter P to add another position animation, select the second keyframe, and then make it go away like this right here. And then we're going to go back to the first keyframe of that latest animation. And then it's going to be mask number 5. So mask number 5 is right here. We're going to click on P to add another animation. By the way, for the beard, I created 5 masks and 2 masks for the mustache. So I divided the mustache into 2 images or 2 masks, and the beard I used 5 masks. So you can easily do this by creating custom masks using the pen tool, just like I showed you in the first example. But if you want to learn more about custom masks, go to my playlist for the masking feature inside CreateStudio 3 and learn how to use the pen tool creating custom masks. All right, now that we got discovered on mask number 5, we're going to select the second keyframe and then take this guy away right here. And now we are good to go as far as the beard. So if we go back right here, play this for you. Now he's going to start. Okay, it looks like we're missing on one of the keyframes right there because it went up. Oh, it already took that part. So let's have a look at that. All right, it was just a small, tiny part right there. Okay, cool. So we're good to go. There you go. So it's shaving his beard a bit by bit like that. And it's so fun to watch, actually. It is so fun to watch. All right, now we're going to go back to the left arm or left hand. And then we're going to make this one shave the left side of the mustache. So we're going to create a position animation right here. Click on the second keyframe and make it go on the mustache part right there. Click another P to add another position animation, second keyframe, and then we're going to go back again right here. Then we're going to go to the mustache. So the mustache, this one is the number 6. We're going to go to the first keyframe of our latest animation, click on number 6, add a position animation, select our second keyframe, and then we're going to take this guy away right here. And then now it's time to use the right hand. So we're going to click on position animation. I'm going to select our second keyframe, make it go on the other part of the mustache right there. Create another position animation with the letter P, select the second keyframe, and then make it go away like this. And then we're going to go back to the first keyframe of the latest animation. Then we're going to select mask number 7, click on position to add another position animation, select your second keyframe, and simply just make this guy go underneath the razor. So now we are good to go. So we have everything ready. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to group things up. All right, so I'm going to select all my layers right there, and then I'm going to group them up like this. So we end up in one layer. Then I'm going to drag this guy away out of the canvas just for now. And then now I'm going to grab my background, which I'm going to use in this scene. I'm going to extend it all the way until the end right here. So you can see we have a nice 3D bathroom with a mirror that we're going to use and have Tom being masked inside that mirror. So once we get that, we are going to have the character go inside the mirror. And it's so important that we scale Tom really big like this so we can only just see his face, right? With just a tad bit of his shirt, if you will. So something like, let's just have a look at that right there. I think he is good to go. And then when you're done, here's how you're going to create your mask. So what you want to do is right click the group of Tom to hide it just for now until we create our mask. And then I'm going to hit the shift key on the letter C to create a mask. And then that will be a circle. So we're going to grab it over there on top of the mirror. And then we're going to adjust its size. This is not an exact circle, so you're going to have to tweak it around by adjusting it and dragging it from sideways to be able to adjust the size to match the same size of your mirror from the inside like this. And then when you are done, this is what you want to do. You're going to right click and click on show to show Tom. And then now you have your mask ready. So all you got to do is simply select your mask layer, which is a circle, along with the group, which is Tom. Right click and then mask these guys, and voila, now we have Tom inside. So let's just go ahead and play this for you from the beginning. And actually, now that we have this, we can select both layers, the group of Tom and the background. And when we can hit the control, or you can do Command G to group them up so that you can have even a close-up shot of this guy while he's shaving his beard. That's basically what I did in my example, just like that. And now if I play it for you, this is how it's going to look like. It's going to start shaving. And there you have it, right? This is how you can easily use the masking feature and learn how to use the pen tool to be able to create your masks and, you know, kind of create another action for Tom where you have an illusion that makes Tom look like he's actually shaving his beard. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment with your thoughts, and let me know what you like to see next, and I'll see you on the next one.